Welcome to August new releases and to the person who likes to run into car doors. I don't know how I do it. Twice I've done it behind the ear. I have no idea. Don't ask. It happened. And it was the top. It wasn't the bottom. So I have no clue. I was in a hurry. I was bending down to get into my car, to get my books. I don't know, 6 months or so ago, I did behind the ear. I still have no idea. I mean, if you're bending in and you're coming up, how do you hit this side of the car door? I don't know. And I went down yesterday and I was in a hurry. It was raining. I wanted to get in the house. I wanted to grab my books. And I went down and I went in really, really hard and the car door went here. So I've got a little itty bitty. It's not that bad today. I thought it'd be black and blue. It's not that bad. Even with my computer's horrible lighting, you can tell it's not that bad. So hey, how about subscribing to the D. Louise book series, or at least liking the video? That's most important. I listen to some of these channels, and they beg, like, it's really important to the algorithm, blah, 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 blah. We really need you to do this, blah, blah, blah. So just do it. Because I noticed one of the biggest reasons why these people do it. Even if you have, I don't know why, have you thought about this? You like stuff on Facebook, like, gazillions of times, constantly. You like it to let people know you like it. On YouTube, on the other hand, it's a completely different story. Because if somebody that's really big and famous, doesn't matter who, let's say 60,000 people watched a video, I'll guarantee you between 60 and 600 likes. 10%. Sometimes 1% of the people that watch it. Facebook, on the other hand, there's a gazillion likes. YouTube. So, hit the likes, please. Alright, so let's get to it. August new releases. And a couple of these I am looking forward to. So you may see them in this channel. Let's see if I can do this. I didn't realize how bad, the sound is bad. I know that. I can't do anything else. And, my video the lighting is, I've been trying to figure out how to fix it, and I haven't figured it out yet. So anyways, we have book number 1. I don't even know how to rom-com. Oh, my co-host is sleeping over there, by the way. Yep, she's out cold. Alright. Rom-com. When Edie Brandstrup attempts to save her sweet, seemingly harmless human neighbor from the first major zombie breach in 2 decades, she's stunned to be saved by him and his ridiculously large sword instead. As it turns out, he's actually a super old, super surly vampire. But for all her neighbor's newly revealed cynicism and lethal whatever, Gaston Max Bocher is unexpectedly protective. He wants her to stay in his safety bunker until the breach is resolved. Edie can't risk more innocent people getting killed, though, and Max won't let her save them alone. So maybe they work together? Miss Christie at the Mystery Guild Library. Tori Van Dyne is the most down-to-earth member of a decidedly eccentric old New York family. For one thing, as book conservator as Manhattan Mystery Guild Library, she actually has a job. Plus, she left uptown society behind for a quiet life downtown. So she's not thrilled when she discovers a woman in the library's Christie room who calmly introduces herself as Agatha Christie, politely requests a cocktail, and announces she's here to help solve a murder that has not happened yet. But as soon as Tori determines that this is just a fairly nutty Christie fangirl, her socialite actress cousin Nicola gets caught up in the superstitious death of her less than lovable talent agent. Nick as always looks to Tori for help, Tori in turn looks to Miss Christie. The woman, whoever or whatever she is clearly knows her stuff about crime. Book 3. Lisa Gardner, Kiss Her Goodbye. Recent Afghan refuge and young mother Sabia Ahmed was last seen exiting her place of work 3 weeks ago. The local police have yet to open a case, while her older, domineering husband seems unconcerned. At the insistence of Sabia's closest friend, missing persons expert Frankie Elkin agrees to take up the search just in time for a video of Sabia to surface, showing her walking away from the scene of a brutal double murder. Why is her husband not concerned? Why are the police not concerned? What's going on here? Inquiring minds want to know. Frankly, quickly notes there's more to the Ahmed family than meets the eye. The father, Izad, is a brilliant mathematician, Sabria a gifted linguist, and her little girl, Zara, has an uncanny ability to remember anything she sees, which, given everything that's happened during the girl's short life, may be a terrible curse. Next one. Everything is probably fine. Julia London. Lorna Lott has been leaning into the awkward side of things most of her life. Her intensity and drive haven't earned her any friends, but at least her sales team is meeting their quotas. Why should she care that they call her King Kong when her promotion to senior vice president is within reach? Or was it until she made a mistake that even an apology donuts couldn't fix? Interesting. We're reading a book now that will show up in a couple of days where this girl is going for an interview and she can see the Fae. And she pretends her whole life that she can't see them because the Fae aren't allowed to know that she can see them. And she's going for this top interview. Make her life, make her career. She's carrying a cup of coffee. She sees the Fae. She gets startled, dumps the coffee on the interviewer, thereby tanking the interview. Poor Lorna. Now she's been mandated to attend a 30-day wellness program, and everything is on the line. If she can't get her low-key rage thing under control, stop her eyes from leaking, and figure out how to be more likable, she won't get a promotion or raise, which means she won't be able to buy back her grandmother's house. Aww. This book we will 100% be purchasing, and you will see on this channel probably not till October or November. I might savor the anticipation a little bit, but we will definitely absolutely be seeing this book. It's one of those authors. Do you have a list of authors? I should do this video. list of authors that you will buy. It's the author, it's your character, you're gonna buy it. Hands down, period, end. Do you have a list of authors like that? One of those is up there. Regardless of what she puts out. If she puts out Anita, or if she puts out Mary. Patricia Briggs. Janet Ivanovich. Although she's no Stephanie this year, I'm kind of pissed off. We're getting that recovery agent thing. Catherine Coulter. Although, actually, not anymore. We're going to be doing our last Catherine Coulter in a couple days. She's gone back to Regencies. And I don't like her. It was that guy's name. Not Sherbrooke. It was the other brother. I forget I had it the other day. I lost it. But I probably won't be buying hers anymore. Sherilyn Kenyon. Don't care what it's about. It's a Sherilyn Kenyon book. Buy it anyway. There's quite a few authors like that. But we will be buying this one. Murder at ARLEIGH Court. ALYSAA Maxwell. April 1903, Emma and Derek Andrews have been invited to the wedding of their cousin Reggie Vanderbilt and heiress Kathleen Nielsen at the Bellevue Mansion in Arlingh. The hosts are a popular young couple who are leasing their home for the summer. Harry and Elizabeth Bessie, known for his practical jokes, Harry is the toast of the parties, earning a reputation as the court jester of the Gilded Age. However, as Emma soon learns behind closed doors, he is dead serious. Following the wedding, Bessie comes to Emma for help, insisting that her husband is cruel to her in private, telling her outright he married her only for her money and he finds her repulsive. Divorce is unthinkable. Now she believes he is plotting to murder her and make it look like an accident. A broken balcony railing she might have leaned on, a loose stair runner that could have sent her tumbling down a staircase, faulty brakes in her car. Some would say being trapped in a loveless marriage is a fate worse than death. Not Bessie. She wants to live. Unsure if these situations are mere coincidences or add up to premeditated murder, we shall see. Fern Michaels. We talk about her a lot in Flashback Monday. Smuggler's Cove. Growing up, Madison Taylor and her younger brother Lincoln lived in privilege, but their sheltered existence abruptly ended when their father was arrested for fraud and the family assets were seized. Since then, Madison has carved out a new path, studying fashion and working her way up to editor-in-chief of La Femme magazine. While Lincoln teaches wealth management at a small college outside the city, both have separated themselves from family and their past until an unexpected request arrives from their late uncle. Madison and Lincoln are now the co-owners of a marina at Smuggler's Cove on the Navesink River. Instead of a fabulous Hampton-style property, Smuggler's Cove offers a little behind a dilapidated dock, a few gas pumps, and a handful of clam boats. Madison's plan to sell the property goes away when a dead body is found floating under the dock and transforms their new inheritance into a crime scene. Fix it up! Put a bed and breakfast up! Make it a fishing thing. Gone in the Night. JOANNA SCHAFFHAUSEN. JOANNA Schaffhausen. Detective Annalise Vega hasn't forgiven her brother for his role in a murder, and he hasn't forgiven her for turning him in. So she's surprised when he asks her to visit him in prison. Turns out he has a possible case for her. One of his fellow inmates, Joe Green, may be innocent of the murder that landed him behind bars. Joe is doing hard time for killing his ex-wife's lawyer, but an anonymous letter sent to the prison warns that the eyewitness in Joe's trial made up her story. With her private investigative business foundering, Annalise is desperate enough to start poking around into Joe's meager case. She immediately finds two problems. One, the eyewitness definitely lied about what she saw the night of the murder. And two, Annalise's husband, Nick, was the cop who arrested Joe in the first place. Oops. The dead come to stay. Brandy SCHILLACE. Joe Jones can't seem to catch a break, trading in city life for the cozy, peaceful hills of the North Shire to take over her family estate should have been a chance for a fresh start. Instead, she is driven further into the past than she thought possible, and not just her own. The estate property is littered with traces of ancestors that Joe never knew existed, including the mysterious woman in a half-destroyed painting, and the hints about Joe's late uncle who may hold the key to the cryptic family history. Then there's the gossipy town politics Joe most consistently navigates as a neurodivergent transplanted American, and of course the whole murder business. That sounds a little on the interesting side. What do you think? Alright, and this lady has been writing books 50 years, even. 50 years plus, I'd swear. Danielle Steele. For richer, for poorer. After working as head designer for Oscar de la Renta, Eugenia Ward started her own company when she turned 14 years ago. She's now a major name in evening gowns and wedding gowns, ready to wear and haute couture. But with the fashion business in major downturn, she has recently suffered heavy losses, and Eugenia desperately needs new investors and new ideas. At the same time, she is the matriarch and guiding light for her 5 adult children. A single mother for more than a decade since her divorce from her spendthrift Italian prince she married young. As the family gathers for summer vacation at a beach house, wedding plans for her daughter Gloria are blooming in expense. Even as the latouche behavior of Gloria's fiancé causes Eugenia to question her daughter's judgment. Is she marrying the right guy? Murder by the book. And we're going to be talking about this in the future. This came up and I had gazillion ideas went through the head. Near a small college campus, a student is found strangled in an abandoned barn on the outskirts of town. She's been poised to look like a painting of Ophelia from Shakespeare's Hamlet. The scene taunting the police with a message they don't understand. Detective Ian Carter is known as a straight-laced cop, but seeing the girl's body leaves him shaken and uncertain of where to turn, until a chance meeting with a charmingly awkward literature professor ends with her accidentally seeing and solving a clue left by the killer. See what happens. Professor Emily Riley knows the books she loves might hold the key to unraveling the killer's crimes, and now a second murder has been discovered, with the victim posed as the Lady of Charlotte this time. However, when the murderer strikes too close to home and kills a third student, Emma must hurry up and solve the case. Slightly on the horror side, slightly on the thriller side, slightly on the psychological side. One of those books that give you, ooh. I did. Go check out last year's thrillers. I did the whole video going, We are all guilty here. A chilling psychological thriller. We are all guilty here. The first thrilling mystery in the new North Falls series from Karin Slaughter. Welcome to North Falls, a small town where everyone knows everyone, or so they think. Until the night of the fireworks, when 2 teenage girls vanish and the town ignites. For Officer Emmy Clifton, it's personal. She's turned away from her best friend's daughter, needed help, and now she must bring her home. But as Emmy combs through the puzzle the girls left behind, she realizes she never really knew them. Nobody did. So what's going on with these girls? Ah! An old friend. An old friend who's down there. We go alphabetical, so S is on the floor. Gina Showalter. Kingdom of Tomorrow. 20-year-old Arden Russo knows only our land. Two worlds split and stitched together with broken pieces from each statues of fallen gods and heavenly artifacts that are worshipped or feared. But nothing is more fearsome than the night. A strange madness haunts the darkness hours, turning innocence into gleeful killers. Arden does her best to stay safe until she reads a book about her life, the Book of Arden, and everything changes. Another book that you will 100% be seeing on this channel, probably October or November. We'll see how it goes. It may end up being a Christmas present. For Duck's Sake. And have you seen all my duck videos lately? We got 3, possibly 4 groups of geese that all have kids. I think one family has survived with all their kids. I'm not sure. They're growing sporadically. We've seen a small group of mallards come by. There's a couple of mallards. We had some Chesapeake ducks, that's what I called them. They had heads of turkeys, but bodies of large bodies like geese, but turkey kind of heads, weird stuff. And I've seen a couple of mallards with the head, but a mallard body. It's just weird. And then we've had a couple of white, really, really light white mallards. And I'm telling you, those geese do not give that poor mallard a break for nothing. So where was it? Oh, yes! For Duck's Sake! Meg Langzo, another book you just buy. Don't care what it's about, just buy. Meg is in the backyard of the house her brother Rob Delaney and their new baby have moved into, supervising some workmen who are using a bulldozer to start digging out a duck pond. She wants to get away from her own house, which has become the staging site for Caerphilly First Mutt March, which will be held the next day. Meg thinks it will be more peaceful at Rob's house, and it is until the bulldozers discover a skeleton whose skull has a hole and a bullet rattling around inside it. Meanwhile, Chief Burke begins searching the police records to see if he can identify any missing persons who could fit the bill. He doesn't turn down Meg's offer to help with his identification efforts, and she begins looking in the library and talking to some old-timers. She's all the more eager to help because Iris Rafferty, who sold the house to Rob and Delaney, still lives in the mother-in-law suite, disappears the morning after the finding of the body. Does her disappearance have anything to do with finding the body? Was it voluntary or was she kidnapped? We need to find out. We need to read the book. High Seasons, Kate Bishop. Whenever I see Bishop, I think of Anne Bishop. That's just me. On a beautiful summer's night 20 years ago, troubled 17-year-old Tamara Drayton was found floating face down in the pool of her family's idyllic mansion in the south of France, leaving her twin brother, Golden Boy Blake, to pick up the pieces of their shattered family. Also left behind was their sister Nina, who at 6 years old became the youngest person ever to testify in a French murder trial, because she's the only one who saw what happened. Who watched her as a babysitter, Josie Jackson, pushed Tamara under the water and held her there until she stopped breathing. Didn't she? 20 years later, Nina's memories have faded, leaving her with no idea of what transpired that night. When a true crime documentary about sisters' murders announced, Nina thinks this might be a chance to find out. I don't know. I don't think so. Sarah A. McLean, VOIDWALKER. Fiona is a smuggler, and you know, these sci-fi authors come up with these names, and I can't pronounce them for the life of me. It's Antal. Just gonna go Anita. Is the reason her people fear the dark. Fairies contain contraband between worlds, stockpiling funds and stolen magic to keep her village self-sufficient. Free from the blood sacrifices human have paid to Antal, immortal species for centuries. Only legends whispered through the pine forest recall a time when things were different, before one world shattered into many, and into the flesh-devouring beasts crept from the cracks between realities. With their stable antlers and slender tails, lethal claws and gleaming fangs, now mortal lives of food to pacify the carnivorous overlords, exchanged for feudal protection and the precious silver energy that fuels everything from transport to weaponry. The Sea Witch, Eva Lee. From a world where women are forbidden to use magic and the only freedom is found in the Caribbean high seas, comes a swashbuckling romance. Condemned as a witch, sentenced to die, ALYSAA Turner uses her innate magical power to flee puritanical New England. Stealing a ship, ALYSAA becomes a captain of the Sea Witch, leading its all-female sorcery-wielding pirate crew. But the colonial British Navy is in hot pursuit. The Navy fights for a chokehold on the Caribbean and will destroy anything they cannot control, especially witches. So why don't they band together and work together? Oh, this book. $35? Are you serious? It'll probably get cheaper as time goes on. But the initial price, at least the one today, it may be cheaper in a couple weeks. But I looked this up. $35? Really? So I know a place. If you give it, you probably have to give it a year. Maybe even less. I know a place called a library. And it's a huge library. And they order 100 copies. And each branch, because there's a lot of branches, gets 10 copies. They may get less. Maybe they only get 2 or 3. But I'm just supposing, hypothetically, situation. And then 6 months down the road, the paperback comes out. So we got to get rid of a couple of those hardbacks to put the paperbacks on the shelf. So I know this little bookstore in the library that will sell those. So in 6 months to a year, that book will be $5. Emma on Fire. Everyone at Ridgemont Academy knows what to expect from Emma Caroline Blake. Perfect grades, perfect record, perfect life. Then she stands up in class and commits an act so shocking her reputation will never recover. And that's exactly what Emma wants. In a world where the path forward is uncertain, expectations is the enemy. Emma on Fire is the unforgettable story of one brave young woman and her decision to live life as everyone's future depends on it, because it does. We'll see what happens. How about a little bit of Regency in your life? A Waltz on the Wild Side. Advice columnist Miss Vivian Henry hates how the wild Winchesters flaunt so many privileges ordinary people could never emulate. But when her beloved cousin goes missing and the authorities shrug, Viv has no choice but to beg for help from the vigilantes she despises. Aspiring poet Jacob Winchester prefers animals to people. He'd rather stay behind the safety of a quill than interact with prickly clients. But when he's appointed lead investigator, Jacob finds he admires Vivian's resourcefulness and intelligence, including the sharp wit he must parry as they team up to rescue her kidnapped cousin. They discover just how comparable they are. So they're gonna work together. And that is the end of our new releases on If Then Day. This is If Then 78 or 9, around there. So that was August new releases. You gonna read any of these? We'll see what happens. Have a good one. And hope the stupid nose of mine heals. Have a good one.